Hey guys, this is Lawrence with Inside Gaming here at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas, and we're here to see Prototype 2, and judging from who's in line to get in, this is going to be a really weird party. What are you trying to change in Prototype 2 from Prototype 1? What are you trying to make better, and what are you taking out completely? That's a 20-minute question right there.
It totally is. I mean, the short version is that we've basically changed everything from the first game. Even the bits that don't necessarily look outwardly like they've changed have changed fundamentally underneath to resolve like certain issues that we perceived. But I think the goal really has been to surface all of the awesome stuff that was really starting to happen in Prototype 1 and obviously remove a bunch of the stuff that we were not as happy with. And I think, you know, if it came down to a bunch of key elements, at least from my point of view, I think what it comes down to is I wanted the game to have much more character and personality than the first one, to basically make it so that the world that you're exploring speaks for itself. You know, as you're exploring it and you're looking at the entities in that world and how they interact with each other, and even how the virus now has a real presence and it has a character and it has a sort of visual style associated with it that runs through the way that it grows through the ground and wraps itself around buildings and crushes them, or, you know, grows from building to building, or the way that it expresses itself in Hela's powers or in the monsters that you'll meet throughout the world. I think you start to be able to understand the story and understand the world that you're living in without us having to express it all through cinematics, which is huge. You know, if you look back to the first game, we had street scenes that were just full of characters, but they only really did one of three things. They would either walk around oblivious to what was going on, or they would be running around screaming in panic, or they would be lying on the floor in several different pieces. And those are kind of the fundamental three states that were there. And in P2, we worked really hard to improve our ambience, improve that sense of people have a role and a purpose, and they're trying to live their lives and they're trying to interact with one another, and it's made for a much, much richer world.
Given where we're talking, I have one last question for you. How strong do you think your immune system is?
My immune system is actually pretty strong, and I think that largely comes down to the fact that I don't have kids. If I've learned one thing over the last couple of years from watching my co-workers, the people around me, is it's the people with kids that are constantly coming down with different diseases, because children are the germ factories. They're the ones you really need to be scared of.
What do you think the cause of death was?
I'm saying biobomb.
Yeah, looks pretty nasty. So I'm here with Ken, studio head of Radical Entertainment. How you doing, Ken?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. This is a hell of a party. So, Prototype 2. I hear that's a game that's coming out. What does Prototype 2 mean for your company?
Prototype 2 means a lot for Radical. It's Prototype is an IP, an intellectual property that Radical came up with, and we're excited to sequel it and really make a better experience than we made with the first one and bring it to a whole new audience. So it means a lot.
And you guys have a new engine for this too, right?
So yeah, we have the Titanium 2 engine. So it's an old new version of the original engine with a brand new renderer, and really, you know, bringing the visuals to the place to market that are competitive with everything else that's out there. We're really excited.
So what specific liberties does the new engine give you that you can utilize in Prototype 2 that maybe you were limited by in Prototype 1?
I think the biggest thing it gives us is higher texture resolution that really, you know, gives the world a lot more richness. Prototype 1 suffered from kind of those perfectly square Lego block buildings, and Prototype 2 really has much more density to the environments. It has much more details to the buildings. So I think it's all of those things, plus the all-new lighting really makes the world pop.
You guys also refined the customization of the game too. Can you give me some details about that?
Yeah, so in Prototype 2, we really wanted to make sure that the play experience was really more engaging than it was the first time. I mean, in Prototype 1, it was great that you got a ton of new toys to play with all the time, but at the same time, it meant you didn't always know how to take advantage of those new toys and those upgrades. Prototype 2, we want to make sure it's paced right. You're in the right environment, you're in the right situation, so you can have a lot of fun with your things. So your powers will be gifted through the narrative at different points along the way. But by exploring the open world, there's a lot of other ways that the player can really make James Heller and the prototype their own. So your prototype ends up being different than my prototype because you've gone after a different open world content that's going to give you a mutation that's different than mutations I would have gone after. So things like that will really help the player customize that, and their evolution points will allow you to choose what, do you want to go for more locomotion because you like to explore the world, or do you want to go for more offensive because you're more about tearing people up? So those things will really make each player's prototype a little bit different.
And then I guess taking a little bit of a step back from Prototype 2, how does it feel at Radical to have an IP under your belt that's as huge as Prototype is?
It's really, really cool. Prototype just celebrated its 20 years last year, so it's pretty cool. We've shipped over 40 games in those 20 years, and it's great to say that we've accomplished so much, and we've got games that people are really passionate about. But Prototype is a game that is an IP that it speaks to a whole new audience that loves what we achieved and what we brought to the table, and we're really excited that Prototype 2 builds upon that, and we're excited to bring that hold a bunch of new people. So.
And when is the game coming out?
So the game ships April 24th, 2012.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Ken.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, guys, I think that's it. We got a good look at Prototype 2, and I really have no idea what to say right now because I am being touched inappropriately by... This is bringing back bad memories. I'm gonna go to my place. I'm gonna do it.
Let me tell you all about my life. Grab a seat, get strapped in tight. You may have heard about an earthquake ride, but these ones happen deep inside. My life is a chain of charge.